Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Pentiment, the mitigable monastic murder mystery set in the town of Tassing, of course. So we are here with our new character, Magdalena Drucker, who has just done a little bit of a circuit of the town of Tassing, gotten to say hi to all of the residents, or all of the remaining residents anyway, seen a couple of new faces and a new bunch of kids about, which is always good to see, petted some animals, and now we're going to be writing our letter to our good friend Veronica, who's over in another city. So let's get to it. Alright, where to begin? I should write to Esther. Oh, I thought we were writing to Veronica, but... Dearest Esther, I hope you've been well. Autumn has reached us here in Tassing. I hope you and your family are well. Yeah, Dad sends his regards to your parents, like usual. I spent the last few days collecting oak galls with Sister Gertrude. I don't suppose you have the chance to do that in Prague? Oh, she's in Prague, of course. Sister Gertrude has been teaching me how to grind them into smooth ink. It keeps highlighting Sister Gertrude. Like, we know who she is. Come on, dude. It's difficult work, but you'll find no better ink anywhere in Bavaria. I'll send along a bottle with this letter. Oh, did I mention? Dad started a new project. He's painting a mural of Tassing's history in our new rat house to memorialize the revolt. The whole thing has me thinking about my own family history, past, present, and future. I don't think I want to stay in Tassing forever. It's a quaint place to grow up, but I'm 20 now. The printing shop has been in the family for years. I'm looking forward to taking it over. Ooh, interesting. So are we going to... Is this going to determine our future, or is this just us thinking out loud? Let's think big. Let's talk about leaving the town. Dad says I should take over the shop, but I want to do more with my life. Like become a detective, maybe? Not just take over a print shop in some tiny town in the Alps. If I married a master printer, then I could become part of the Printers Guild. Then I'd be able to send Dad my extra earnings and make a name for myself in one of the cities. And yes, before you break the nib off your pen, I will come visit you in Prague, I promise. I'll try to make time to visit before winter. Life has been bustling here. Dad's been busy with the rat house mural, so I've taken over in the workshop. I'm sure it will be a sight to behold once it's finished. Write back to me soon. All my love, Magda. Okay, time to go to bed. Is there anything else we can do? No. Hey, Papa. Hello, Magdalene. Nope. Nothing else to do. Alright, bedtime. It's late. I should get some rest soon. Yeah, time to go to sleep. Ah! Dad? Dad? Magdalene? Dad? Hang on, I'm coming. What? Dad! Magdalene. What happened? What happened? Are you alright? You're bleeding. Someone came into the house. They hit me over the head. I'll go get Dr. Stoltz. Try not to move, Dad. Magdalene, it's not safe. Whoever attacked me. The This wound is too deep for me to take care of on my own. We need Dr. Schultz. I can't carry you across town, Dad. I won't be long, I swear. Yeah, we need Dr. Schultz. Magdalene, be careful. I will. I'll be right back, I promise. Do you know why anyone would want to attack you, Klaus? No. Maybe someone didn't like one of the books I sold them. Are you sure you didn't see a shadow or hit your head on the printing press? Come on, Jörg. You saw the workshop. Somebody was looking for something. A burglar in Tassing? That's preposterous. Well, if it wasn't an attack, what was it? Enough. It was a deliberate blow to the head, unless any of you wish to debate my diagnosis. No, of course not, no. As I thought. Truthfully, Klaus, I'm surprised the blow didn't kill you. You have a strong skull. It's a grave injury. Magdalene, you'll need to help take care of your father. I will. Whatever I need to do. Good. Of course, the mural will have to be called off now. Klaus, you absolutely cannot get out of bed. No, it has to be done. This is too important. Just give me some time to rest. I'll find a way to make it work. I don't think we need to cancel the entire project. Can't we just wait? Klaus, your health comes first. Anyway, we haven't even been able to agree on what the mural should be. Indeed, it might be best to abandon the entire idea. With respect, Father Thomas, you are not on this council. Yes, just offering an opinion. I can paint the mural. What? Mags, quit joking around. Well, I know you want to help your dad, but aren't you too young for something this big? I've been painting since before I could walk. You don't think I'm good enough? I'm old enough to run the print shop by myself and Dad trusts me to illustrate the books. Isn't that enough? I'm older than odds and he's in the town council and he doesn't even do anything. Let's skip this debate. We all know I'm capable of doing this myself. Dad doesn't... I mean... Yeah, this is a chance for us to use our haggling background. Should we do it? If you don't trust Magdalene to do the mural, to hell with the lot of you. Klaus! If you don't trust her, you don't trust me. I'll never do any work for this council again. Alright, I say we let her. It doesn't look like we have much of a choice. Very well. Alright, Magdalene, you can do it. But you still need to talk to us about what you're doing, alright? Of course. Fine, but I'm taking Dad's ideas into account. Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. Thanks, Magdalene. Rest up, Klaus. I'll do my best, Jörg. Magdalene, just a moment. Yes, what is it? Your father is lucid right now, but his injury is severe. His current demeanor is misleading. I know the injury is severe, Werner. I saw the blood. What are you saying? Magdalene, there is damage to his brain. He may have a few weeks, maybe even a few months left. But he's not going to survive. No, there has to be something you can do. Yeah, there has to be something. No, I'm not a surgeon. Well, can we take him to see one? No, he can't be moved into this condition. In fact, he shouldn't move at all. Even if he could, I don't think the finest Italian surgeons would know how to deal with trauma like this. So he's just going to die? And there's nothing I can do about it? You can make him comfortable, and you can enjoy the time you have left. But time will run out before long. Oh, no. Oh, that's awful. Like, whoever... is it reasonable to assume that whoever attacked Klaus didn't want him to finish the mural? Dad needs to be able to see the mural in its finished form. But I don't know how much time he has left. Werner said it could be a few months, or... Yeah, we know who Werner is. God protect him. I'll pick up where Dad left off. He wanted to paint the history of Tassing, from its earliest days to the revolt. I'll start with the earliest parts of Tassing's history, the pagan tribes and the Romans. Then I'll move on to the founding of the Abbey and Tassing's saints. After that, I should find a way to represent our recent history. Depicting the revolt is important to Dad. People in Tassing might know some of this town's history, but not all of it. Dad said the library in Curacao had those records. He was going to write to the last prioress to see if she had any information. I should write to her now, while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that's an idea. Alright, so let's see. So, I think firstly it's what? Write to Mother Illuminata. Okay, I think we should do that first. That seems like a good idea. Alright, where to begin? Dad told me the last prioress at Curacao knew something about the old history of Tassing. He said she became the abbess of a convent in Bologna, Mother Illuminata. You all remember Mother Illuminata? And Bologna, one of the largest cities in Italy. Bologna has been a center of the arts for centuries. It houses a well-known university which is home to both Dante and Petrarch. Cool. Yes, at Saint Margherita. I should write to her now. Saint Margherita, a small town in the Republic of Genoa along the coast of the Ligurian Sea. Is that home to a famous pizza? Possibly. Just wondering. Mother Illuminata, Abbess of Santa Margherita, formerly Prioress of Curacao Abbey. Former librarian. Yeah, let's acknowledge her title as former Prioress of Curacao Abbey. My name is Magdalene Druckerin. I do not believe we ever met, as I was very young when you left Curacao. Yeah, let's go that. You were acquainted with my father. He bought many books from the library before that terrible fire consumed the place. I'm writing because my father and I are creating a mural in the Tassing Rat House. It's going to tell the history of our community and of Curacao as well. We have only legends and folklore, since, of course, all of Curaçao's books were destroyed in the fire. I was hoping you could tell us something about the entire early history of town, when the Romans were here. If you know anything about the early history of the Abbey itself, we would also be glad to hear of it. We would appreciate any help you could give us, and we hope you are well. That's a damn good letter. My father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the sisters after the fire. Father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the library and its books. Of your piety and intellect. If you would not mind a personal question, was it hard to return to Italy after being here for so many years? Ooh, I don't know. Let's be really civil. God bless you. Keep well. God bless you. Thank you again. God bless you. Magdalene. Oh, she's gonna love that. Mother Illuminata is gonna love that for sure. If I want to finish the mural before Christmas, I should start planning tomorrow. I should head to bed and get as much rest as I can. Okay. It's late. I should get some rest soon. So then tomorrow we plan, do we? It's a fascinating clock this year. Oh wow, so the days are going by? Oh my word. So we're now in November. Reich Postman? Ah, Mistress Druckerin, I have a few letters here addressed to you. Take care now. Thank you, sir. So who's first? Mother Illuminata wrote back to me. I hope her response helped me paint the mural. Mistress Druckern, thank you for your letter. I hope this reply finds you and your father in good health. Well, not really. I remember you both, as your father would carry you between the rows of our library in its final years. I also remember your late mother and brother. God keep their souls. While we did have some books that discussed Tassing's past, it's likely they were as mythological as what your neighbors believe. That said, I remember one of the peasants, Tillman Kreutzer, read about the history of the town. I know he died during the revolt, but perhaps his family knows some of what he learned. I should also say that it's not true that all of Curso's books were destroyed by the fire. Andreas Maler managed to save some from the flames, God rest his soul. In the aftermath of the terrible night, cataloguing and preserving the surviving books was not at the top of any of our minds. Even so, this topic has stirred a memory within me. Several years before the fire, there was a death at Curso, the murder of Baron Rothvogel. He had mentioned something about finding a copy of Historia Tassia, a comprehensive chronicle of your home. I had forgotten about it until now, because the murder dominated all of our thoughts in the days and weeks that followed. It troubles me now, because I recall that the late Father Matthias was also reading a copy of Historia Tassia shortly before he died. We never accounted for either book's whereabouts. They may have been hidden somewhere in the library and went up with everything else. Perhaps Prior Ferenc took it from the Baron after the murder. Ferenc had an interest in books of all sorts, of course, but it seems like an odd thing to do in the moment. Then again, only God knows what he did and why he did it. Nicolaus Haberl, the Baron's manservant, believed it may have been stolen by the town thief Martin Bauer. Do we know Nicolaus Haberl? Oh yeah, that guy. He was, was he... No, I'm not sure who he was. Yeah, wasn't he the Baron's number 2 or something like that there? If Martin is still alive, I would ask him if he knows where the book is. Hopefully he didn't trade it for a mug of beer on his way out of Tassing. If the man has passed from this world, perhaps his family knows where the book wound up. As for the history of the Abbey, I fear that was also lost in the blaze. However, as sacristan, Prior Matthew learned a great deal about the subject. Sacristan? Appointed official in a monastery responsible for maintaining the sacristy, where vestments and objects used in ceremonies are kept. Oh, we know the sacristan. Sacristan is also often the treasurer. Oh, that's Brother Matthew. So he's Prior Matthew now. Interesting. I have not kept in contact with him, but I know that he is now the Archdeacon of Sion. Once a free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, Sion became the capital of Valais when the canton joined the Swiss Confederacy following the Swabian War in 1499. Cool. He is no longer a Benedictine, but uses his family name, Fauchini-So. If you write to him soon, your letter may reach him before snow covers Valais. And all these places. Canton in the Swiss Alps, Valais became an associate member of the Swiss Confederation in 1529. Please convey my best wishes to your father. He was a good friend to the Abbey in its better years. Despite the violence that occurred, I hold no ill will toward anyone from Tassing. I pray that you have seen better days since that night, and that God forgives the many errors we made. God bless you all. God bless you as well. Mother Illuminata, Abbess of Santa Margherita, home of the pizzas. Oh, Esther. Oh, Esther wrote to me. My dear Magda, my parents were glad to hear from your father. Please tell him they wish to hear from him soon. Speaking of printing, your ink was well received indeed. I've made several prints with it. They look lovely on the wall. Elisha has taken to making his own ink from scraps he found around the house after he saw yours. Mother was furious when when he spent several pfennigs trying to find lapis at the market. She set him scrubbing the floors for it. Took him 3 days. I'm glad you're keeping busy, even though it keeps you from visiting. Father says we'll have room whenever you decide to make an appearance. Though really, if you don't plan to stay in Tassing, you ought to come sooner rather than later. There are plenty of beautiful young Christian men around town, printers and academics alike. Or maybe something else? You'd have your pick. Prague is a good city for me as well. Before the expulsion, there was a handsome man at synagogue, Simund, who caught my eye. His father is a merchant, and he's a doctor. He went to the University of Padua. Can you believe it? I'd quite like to marry him, if I can find him again. Anyway, I think you'd have better luck than me. The boys would swoon at a beautiful blonde artist from the Alps. Please keep us abreast of your father's mural. We'll have to come see when it's finished. Blessings. Esther. I'll have to write Esther back tonight. I should head home and check on Dad. Hey Dad, how are you feeling? Magdalene. Sitting upright is still a struggle, I'm afraid. The dizziness makes my stomach turn, so I'd rather not eat at the moment. Are you sure? I can bring up something light, like milk or broth? No, I can't stomach anything just yet. But tell me, where are you off to? I need to get started on the first part of the mural today, the old history. Mother Illuminata didn't know much about Tassing's early history, but she did give me a few places to start. I'm going to ask Black Till if his grandfather told him any stories. Illuminata said he used to read about the Romans. Mother Illuminata, Magdalene. Right, yes, Mother Illuminata. Young Kritzo has mentioned those tales from time to time, yes. He comes by to borrow books now and then. Usually when he's found some interesting old ruin out in the fields. You might ask him about that. Il Peter's always harumphed about how no one paid attention to the old ways anymore, too. I'm sure he'll have some stories to tell about old Tassing. You might stop to talk to him. I didn't think of that. Thanks, Dad. I can hardly understand it these days. But, yeah, it's worth... Yeah, I didn't think of it. Yeah, thank you. Of course, Magda. It's nice to feel useful, even if I am stuck here in bed. Nonsense. I'm just glad you're awake. You might talk to Smokey, too. The old charcoal burner seems to know more about what's in the woods around town than anyone else. That, and he's a known gossip. He's always been kind to me when I chat with him. I'm certain he'll know something about the ruins. Yeah. You may hear something worth your while at any rate. I'll go talk to him. What about the ruins or the mines? I can't just use books and stories alone. I want to explore whatever's left from the Romans and before. The salt mine and Rowan ruins are the oldest part of Tassing, so it only makes sense to see what they left behind. Ah, you take after your mother. She was always thorough in her research. You always said that's what good artists do, Dad. Be careful, all right? I know the twins mess around near the salt mine, but I don't want you getting hurt. I don't know why Jörg doesn't keep them in line, always making trouble, those two. Don't worry about me, Dad. I'll be careful. They don't have brains enough to keep out of trouble. I do. That's what happens when you name your kids after pagan gods instead of saints. Yeah, don't worry. They don't have brains to keep out of trouble. I should hope so. You're the one running the shop for now, after all. Don't forget your other chores while you're running around town, all right? We still have a household to run. Don't worry, I'll get everything done. That's my girl. I'd better get going if I want to do all of that today. I'll see you later, Dad. Good luck, Magdalene. Okay, so we have got a fair few leads. Wow, I mean, where are we going to start? Well, we're not going to sleep, that's for sure. So let's take a look then. So, we can go to the Kreutzer house. Charcoal burner, the old salt mine, the Gertner farm. Yeah, we can do a fair bit then, can't we? So, I say... Now, my question is, will there be a time limit on the stuff here? Like, are we gonna get... Remember, like, when we were investigating with Andreas, we could only do a certain number of investigations at a time? Is it gonna be the same? I'm hoping not. So, let's just test things out. Let's go talk to Il Peter first. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of him first. He's been telling old tales for ages, hasn't he? Hello, Peter. Can I talk to you for a moment? Yeah? What about? What's that? I was wondering if you could tell me some of the stories about Tassing. Oh, the old tales, It's been so damn long since anyone had a thought to ask me about what I know. But there's still a few of the old tales knocking about in this skull. Are there any myths from even before the Romans came to Tassing? Do you know any Roman legends? Should we go pre-Roman? Yeah, before? He'll know something before. Of course there are. The Romans weren't the first ones to live here, you know. There are spirits older than the saints that live in these woods, older than the Romans. They protected Tassing before St. Moritz ever set a blessed foot in town. What sort of spirits? But Father Thomas says that only good spirits is the only good spirit is the Holy Ghost. Yeah, we're not going with that. Thought spirits only cause trouble, spoiling milk. What sorts of spirits? The sort that I'm getting at. Didn't your father teach you patience, Magdalene? Sorry. It's Perchta and her wild hunt that scare those evil ones away. They've protected Tassing since its founding day. Long before the Romans, our ancestors roamed these mountains under a great chieftain called Rhaetus. Wait, isn't Rhaetus a Latin name? Huh? The ending on his name is the masculine singular ending common on most male Roman names. Plenty of names end with the same letters. Doesn't make them Latin, does it? Now quit your yamming and listen. Folk weren't as kind as they are now, and the tribes fought one another for the best land. The old chieftain was a yellow-bellied coward who neglected the old gods. He was too proud to make offerings. Because of him, the gods favored other tribes, and Rhaetus' people had no land to call it their own. Instead, they wandered through these mountains and valleys, hunting and gathering what they could to survive. One day, when winter was approaching, Rhaetus went hunting and found a wounded wolf tangled in a trap. But instead of killing the beast, as most men would, he helped the beast and loosened it from its bonds. Was the wolf a spirit in disguise? Heh, of course not. Wolves are wolves. Spirits don't need the skins of animals for their power. Still, you got the sense of the thing. The old gods are keen to repay favors done, and Perchta is the goddess of the wild hunt. The wolves are her animals. She leads the wild hunt, and the wolves lead the hunts of the forest. Back in my day, folks knew it was bad luck to kill a wolf. Now I'm the only one who remembers these things. Perchta saw Rhaetus' action and took favor on him, and told the wolf to lead the chief to her sacred spring. Rhaetus led his people to the spring and claimed it for his homeland, and we've been in this valley ever since. Then those goddamn Romans came and destroyed everything. But you see, there were other gods protecting this place before St. Moritz. That's why a few of us still honor Perchta. She protects us against witches and fiends. It's a wonderful story, perfect for the first part of the mural. Yeah, that's great. Good. Nice to know I can still be of use in this town. What about the Romans? Do you know any Roman legends of Tassing? Roman legends? Pah! I don't bother with stories from outsiders or tales of gods that aren't our own. The Romans did nothing but conquer our people and destroy this town. We've spent generation after generation building Tassing back up from those days. And still, our traditions keep dying, with no one to carry them on. I'm asking about them right now. That's why I want to know, Peter. These stories need to be on the mural. The mural, Fine, but I don't know of any old Roman shit. Alright. I have a lot to think about. Thank you for sharing your stories with me, Peter. At least someone wants to listen to me. I'm tired. Talking so much has made it my jaw ache. I'll leave the rest to you then. God bless you, Peter. Oh, that was awesome. So we got some very useful information from Peter. And yeah, now we have a nice background for the mural. Now we know about the prehistory of the Romans. Of what happened before the Romans. I mean, that's pretty cool. Okay, next, is it Black Till we're gonna see? Over here. Hey, Black Till. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, Till. Do you have a moment? Of course, what do you need? Ott says you've been obsessed with your painting. I'm looking into the early history of Tassing for the first part of the mural. Ott says just tells I spend more time with the mural than I do with him. Yeah, he is fond of you. You can't blame the boy. Anyway, what was it you wanted to know? I'm looking into the early history of Tassing for the first part of the mural. Mother Illuminata said your grandfather read about the history of the town. Ah, fertile fields, that's it. Seemed like old potsherds and Latin trivia were all he ever talked about. All of Grandad's reading came from the Abbey's library, though, and you know what happened there. Poof, up in smoke. So you don't have any of his books? Only a few. Grandad tried to buy some when the Abbey fell on hard times, but they were too expensive. But I can show you something better than books. Yeah, anything would help. Right, so we don't have any books on the old pagans, but we do have their stuff. Shards of ceramic pots and animals, bricks from what looks to be an old forge, mountains of salt. Even found a little bear carved from amber. Where did you find all this stuff? It's not just me. Carl finds things, Fabian too. Any farmer would tell you the same. It's all out there in the fields, under the dirt. Can't go one season without digging up something. Where are you keeping these things? Nowhere. We just toss them into piles with the rest of the rocks and root clumps. Sure, it's interesting, but we can't do much of anything with the stuff except look at it. What do you think it all means? I don't follow. How do you think those people lived? What do you think they were like? What do you think... Yeah, how do you think these people lived? Rough, I'd say, but comfortable. We don't find much of their clothes or their houses, so they must have rotted. I guess that would mean they were living in huts. But their tools are of good quality. If they weren't rusted all to hell, I could probably use them today. I don't know why, but I assumed they'd lived in caves or in the muck. They weren't Christians, no doubt about that, but they weren't animals either. I'd say they had it hard, but they got by. Not so different from today, really. Earlier you mentioned something about salt. Did the pagans start the mine? Had to have, I'd say. Most people think it was a Roman project, but I think the Romans just dug out what was already there. That's why Tassing was so important to the Romans in the first place. Salt. I've always wondered why they'd settled in such a small alpine town. Do you think there's anything left of the pagans down there? I don't know, but anything they left would have to be better preserved than what we dig out of the fields. Magdalene, Tell me you aren't thinking of going down there. Well, what if there's stuff that could help me with the mural? Magdalene. That mine is hundreds of years old. You could break your neck just getting in there. Orpheus made it back from the underworld, didn't he? I'll be fine. Maybe so, but he mocked the gods and failed in his quest, Magdalene. Don't take him as an example. Yeah, not the best example. Imagine how your dad would feel if you got hurt. So we have a haggle background. We make fun of Utz. Oh, that didn't help. Was curious about the daily lives of the pagans. Then help me get down safely, and he won't have to worry. You're bullheaded, just like your mother. And your father. Probably couldn't keep you out if I tried. Please, Till. All right. Don't know how to get down there myself, but I know these twins have gotten in a time or two. No doubt they have a trick. And Baltus might not be the most reliable man, but I don't doubt he could rig something up for you too. Thank you, Till. Don't mention it. I'm serious. Don't. This has been a big help. Glad to spread some knowledge around. Important for folks to know their past. You think all this pagan stuff will make it in the mural? If we have anything to say about it, it will. I could bring some of the things the boys and I have found over to the rat house tomorrow, if that'd help at all. Yeah, that would be great. I'm glad you're taking an interest, Magdalene. I thought no one cared about the pagans but me and my granddad. I should warn you, if you do head into the forest, keep an eye out for the Lord's men. They're strict, worse now than they used to be. I'll be careful until tomorrow. Until then. Okay, so this has been useful, so we can ask Apollo and Artemis for help. Oh, what's Ava got to say? Hello, Ava. Magda, darling, Otz isn't here, I'm afraid. It's alright. I can find him later if I need to. I think he wandered off toward the rat house. Something about the council, but if you ask me, I think he's looking for you. That's sweet of him. He's been dropping by the rat house more often as of late. He's quite fond of you. I'm surprised he has any time to visit, though. He's always working in town council business these days, and he's still working at mastering carpentry, too. I suggested a few years ago that he take up an apprenticeship, but he was determined to remain in Tassing. I think he's more comfortable here, even if it means he'll never be the craftsman Otto was. I help him how I can, but there's only so much that I know how to do. Besides, I think he feels like he's taking care of me instead of the other way around. Funny how time does that. It's only good of him to stay. I would worry that you'd be lonely otherwise. I think Dad misses Mom, even after all these years. Do you ever miss Otto? With a jump at the chance to leave Tassing if it didn't mean Dad would be left alone. I imagine Otz felt the same. Yeah, let's ask about Otto. Do you miss Otto? Every day. I see him in the little things Otz does, the way he smiles or how he laughs. I miss my husband, but I'm proud of Otz. He's growing into a capable young man. I'm excited to see him grow into a husband and father. He'll make a wonderful partner. Whoever he marries will be a lucky woman. It's about that time to start finding a match, too. Indris is a good man, but it's a shame the Lord never blessed him with a wife. I'd rather Otz not be in the same position. Better to marry earlier while you can raise a family. Anyway, I'm sure you have things to do. I'll let you get back to them. Always good to see you, Mags. Magda. You too, Ava. Okay, so we can ask Baltus for help. We can ask the twins. I mean, I think we'll probably consider asking Baltus first, but we need to consult the twins as well. And we've gotten a decent bit of information there from Black Till. So, yeah, this was a pretty good haul. I mean, lots of locations that we can visit now. But this has definitely been productive. Okay, well then guys, we will take a quick break here, and when we get back, we will further our investigation into the history of old tussing. But that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.